Welcome to the podcast where markets meet perspective. I'm Manuela, your host. Together with my father, who shares his analytical market insights, we break down commodities, equities, geopolitics, and market sentiment. This content is for educational and informational purposes only, not investment advice.
If you're finding this video helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps the channel grow and allows us to continue creating valuable content. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast of this week. Today we will be discussing the charts of the commodities again. We will highlight one stock that my dad has made 100% profit on. We've discussed it previously, but we just want to highlight it a little bit more. Then we will talk about some geopolitics that have influence on the commodities, and we will go through some messages on X. Let's get started with the commodities.
Yeah, okay. And I lock the chart. Wait a minute. You see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is the chart of gold. Yeah, it's doing very good, I think. Here you see the blue line is a kind of basis, a kind of resistance line or support line. Sorry. Gold is still trading between the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. My expectation is that it will stay there for a while. And then I say for a while is at least at June, July, August. And after that, maybe it can take off again. Yeah, that's totally depending on what central banks does and what the geopolitics does and what the dollar does. Because the dollar is rising again, and that is causing this dip probably. And also, the war has some influence on the decline of the gold price, of course. Because what I last time said is that central banks are selling. Some central banks, like Turkey and other central banks,
selling some reserves, gold reserves.
Yeah, they were selling here, and I presume that they saw some messages that some of the banks are buying a little bit again. So yeah, let's see what happens there. Silver, I drew some lines. This is a diagonal line, and you have here a triangle, and its broke out is triangle. That doesn't mean that it will rise. It can also drop again, but what I read from this is that silver will stay around this level is my expectation. So you have a consolidation period like this. I presume it will stay between here and here, between these price levels.
And for the listeners, that's between 65 and 90. You said, right?
Yeah, somewhere below 58. It's hard to say.
65, 85, around
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Let's do it accurately. Between 80 and 60.
Okay.
Yeah. So at least it stays between that level, but yeah, it's calming down a little bit. That is more my message. And then I expect it has the same period of consolidation as gold, and then it will rise again. Latina did something yesterday. It rose above its 50-day moving average, and that is what I like to see. Today it's dropping again. So I presume this is a little bit of false breakout, and it will stay under its 50-day moving average. But it's good to see that it has some potential to rise. That doesn't mean that it will rise in the coming weeks, of course. I think it will stay the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average for the same period as gold and silver. Uranium, I'm getting quite bullish on it. I said that a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm starting to look at some stocks, and I think I'm going to buy the next couple of weeks, depending a little bit, but some more ETF stocks,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe the physical. I don't know yet. I'm puzzling a little bit around for that. Then copper, I quite like copper. You see the breakout of its
Mm-hmm.
50-day moving average, so that's quite encouraging, to be honest. If this takes next week above its 50-day moving average, we have a breakout again. And then we can see higher prices towards the end of 2026.
Okay.
So I quite like copper here.
Mm-hmm.
We bought an ETF of copper not long ago. So yeah,
And
it's
how is it
doing.
doing at the moment?
Yeah, it's doing okay. So it had a little bit of a drop and then it rises again. So I'm not looking at the last couple of days, but I think it's about 10% in the plus right now.
Oh, that's quite okay.
So yeah, I'm quite satisfied about it. I don't expect it will be 100% in 1 year or something, but I don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy with the position I have now, and probably it will do good in 2 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm aiming at.
Yeah, if
And
you're
again,
investing for the long term, then that also doesn't matter too much.
yeah, it's a copper ETF that is trading in copper junior stocks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they will do very, very well
Mm-hmm.
in the long term. And very, very well. Yeah, maybe 10 times the amount of what is trading right now.
That you can call
So
very, very well. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, we have to wait and
We have
see,
to
of
see.
course. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. This is tin. You see it rising again. It's still under its 50-day moving average. Uh, but I expect that tin will rise above its 50-day moving average again in the coming months.
Mm-hmm.
Same applies for nickel, but that is already above its 50-day moving average. So I quite like the setup of nickel. But yeah, we have a nickel stock in the portfolio. It's not doing well, to be honest. It's a junior mining
Mm-hmm.
stock. But yeah, nickel, I find it a little bit hard how to invest in a good nickel mine.
Because it's a difficult market, or
No, I'm not fully read into it. So
okay, in that way. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I have to be honest here. Uh, so I know that the nickel market in Indonesia is big, but Indonesian stocks are hard to buy.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know. It's like Chinese stocks. You never know if it's a good stock, if it's government funded or not.
Yeah, 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 it's
Uh,
difficult to retrieve that information also.
yeah, exactly. So yeah. Um, then oil, it's dropping, and
Mm-hmm.
that is because of yeah, hurrah! We are opening the Strait of Hormuz again. So that's why it's dropping. I expect it will stay above its 50-day moving average, so that's now 88.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and will trade for the next couple of years. I wrote a piece today, so for listeners, please read this piece. It's about Russian oil market,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, then you can say why you're writing about the Russian oil market. I must admit, is not important as the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, but it's still what I expect 25%, sorry, loss of oil production in the world, so on world scale.
Due to the Russian oil only or in
No,
general?
I say it not very well. The total loss of oil in total of the
World
Strait of
production?
Hormuz
Okay.
and Russian production, so that together, if you calculate that and that is 100%, my expectation it's 4 million barrels in the long term, and in the short term it's at least 7 million barrels that we lose. But if you look at the long term, then 25% I expect is loss of Russian oil, and that is due to drone strikes of the Ukrainian army. They struck a lot of refineries and other assets of Russian assets, and probably it will cause troubles in the years ahead. That's my expectation. So, yeah, the world is now focusing on the Strait of Hormuz, and that is logical, of course. But in my view, also you have to look at Russian supply that is not coming into the market for a part.
And the Russian supply, it's important for European countries, I believe. Is it also important for other continents?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's important for Hungary and for Slovakia. So
Slovakia.
yeah. Slovakia, thank you. Because of the Druzhba pipeline.
Yeah. You mentioned that
That's
before.
yeah, so it's coming direct from Russia to those countries, and they really need it. They are dependent on this line, and they have refineries in the country. But the refineries, the Druzhba pipeline is struck now, and it's closed since January. So those refineries really have troubles to get the feed of crude oil. So yeah, that have implications. So they have to find their oil somewhere else. Yeah,
But then you can say you can just transport it by trucks or anything from neighboring countries. Or is that not so easy?
Trucks is not so easy. When you want to
You would
feed
need
a
a lot, but
yeah, when you need a refinery feed with trucks, then you really have a challenge logistical wise. So the only thing that is possible is via ships. But yeah, you know yourself, you live in Europe, so Hungary and Slovakia are landlocked
yeah,
countries.
exactly. That's why I thought truck is the
Yeah,
only other option. But
yeah, train, truck, and
yeah.
of course ships. The Danube is probably close. I didn't study where the refineries are, but I presume they are on the river Danube. Danube, or how do you say it in English? The Donau. Danube, I think. Yeah.
I believe so too.
Yeah. No.
I'm just
So
Googling at the moment.
okay.
Yeah, the Danube, correct.
Danube. Yeah. So that's probably close, but I'm not knowing that for sure.
Okay.
So the same applies for WTI crude. It's hanging there a little bit. Yeah, probably it will hang for a while and go back and forward with messages of getting more ships through the Strait of Hormuz. And what I read on a good day, it was 200 ships a day that's going through that strait, and now it's 10. So yeah,
It's not that much.
you can say it's open, but yeah,
But it's not really.
no, not really. No. Um, so then natural gas. Yeah, it's really astounding me, to be honest.
I'm still,
It's
yeah,
yeah, it's on the
exactly.
lowest
That's a good word,
level.
astounding.
Yeah, and it's the 50-day moving average still dropping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody's waking up. That's how
Well, I
it
think
feels like.
the Europeans are buying now, of
Mm-hmm.
course. They have to buy, and but I understood they always buy in the summer, so in end of spring, begin summer, so in
Okay.
June.
Yeah.
But they already starting buying now,
Mm.
so maybe it's getting some
Maybe it's not
updates now.
reflected yet.
No, no, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I said multiple times, this is a very hard market for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is European gas. It's also dropping, but my expectation is it will stay above this top.
Mm-hmm.
So above the 50-day moving average is my expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Then also coal is dropping. I don't like that, to be honest. But also here my expectation is that it will rise again and
Yeah.
stay above its 50-day moving average because Asia needs a lot of coal, Europe needs a lot of coal. It needs a lot of natural gas that is not being supplied out of the
As a
Middle East.
replacement. Yeah. We need it.
Yeah,
The
and
natural gas.
it will come again, of course, but then not in the quantities that it was coming before the
Mhm.
uh, war between USA and Iran. So yeah, my expectation is it will rise again. Then met coal is dropping a little bit again, but yeah, I maybe we can one line here. My expectation is that it will stay above here, so
Mhm.
it will go back and forward a little bit and stay above the blue line. That's my expectation. Then
Cacao. I see
especially for
a
you,
green number. It's going
yeah,
up.
it's going up. Yeah, but the positive side is that it's still going up
Mhm.
according to the blue line. And that's my own line, of course, what I do. But what you see is it's fighting a little bit here with the 50-day moving average. So if it breaks and stays above the 50-day moving average for a week or so, then probably the rise is confirmed in the
Mhm.
cacao prices, and that will cause a rise again. And my expectation is because I read that cacao needs not a lot of fertilizer, but it during the whole year,
It
almost
needs a
all the
bit.
year,
Yeah.
it needs a bit. So fertilizer, yeah, well, I will show you in a minute when we discuss the tweet. Fertilizer prices are still rising, so yeah, my expectation is it will rise again. So that
Okay.
was it for the charts.
Then you wanted to highlight one stock again that you had, the Silver Court,
Yes,
Silver
that's
Corporation.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. First Majestic Silver Corporation. Yeah, that's a big company. They have mines in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there I have 100% profit on. I took that somewhere here, I believe. I don't know for sure, but if you see the trend, uh, yeah, it's rising from the left bottom to the right upper corner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and of course, the silver price drops. But yeah, like we said in the charts, I expect that it will stay on this level. Then the oil prices rise, so that's not good for precious metal stocks. But
Mm-hmm.
I presume this stock will stay on this level or rise from this level. Uh, why I say this? Because they are opening a big gold mine in the USA now.
Okay.
And if that goes well, then I expect comes quite some revenues because
Mm-hmm.
they bought a mine a couple of years ago. They tried to start it, but then failed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the course anymore out of my head, but they are starting up again. And like I said last time,
They
it's a
shouldn't fail
good,
twice.
yeah,
Yeah.
a donkey shouldn't bonk his head on the same stone twice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good CEO, so I presume he has everything in order
Mm-hmm.
to make this a success. And it's been out of service, I think 2 years now, about 2 years. And the mine is in the USA. What I want to say about Mexico, it's starting to get a little, no, not a little bit, but the risks are getting higher
Mm-hmm.
of mines in Mexico. And why do I say that? The big drug cartels, um, they had some shooting going on in a silver mine in
Okay.
Mexico, and they killed 9 people there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's quite serious, and they wanted to take over the mine. I think they didn't took over the mine, but probably they get some money from the company or something, or
Mm-hmm.
some leverage. It's a dirty game.
Yeah,
So
because I think 2 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, a drug lord in Mexico was killed when
yeah,
he was apprehended by the police, correct? And ever since then, it's been a bit chaotic.
yeah, but this is uh, quite another game.
Mm.
I forgot what somebody said, a very good comment on that, but I forgot what it was. So, but the only message I want to bring is, yeah, you have some risks in Mexico, so you should take that into account when
Mm-hmm.
you buy silver
If you
stocks
consider
in
stocks
Mexico.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, but a good silver mine is in Mexico, or it's in Bolivia, or yeah.
That
So
makes it
yeah, if you want to
difficult.
buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to buy silver, then it's very hard to stay out of this, out of these countries. You can take the US, of course, or Canada, but then you also pay a higher price, a
Mm-hmm.
higher premium on the stock. So yeah, it's always a little bit of
Choosing
calculating the risk.
between two bad
Yeah,
options.
yeah. Was
Then
it
you
for
had
the
some
stock?
messages on X that you wanted to show us.
Yeah. I will do that. I have a little bit of mix today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, So I have some, yeah, I call it fun messages, but maybe some people don't think it fun.
Don't find it funny.
No. And some, yeah, quite messages that is important for investing. And this is for important for investing. For example, you see here the diesel prices, the jet fuel that is for airplanes,
Mm-hmm.
and a fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I'm referring to, what I'm want to refer by the fertilizer comments I had earlier in
Mm-hmm.
the podcast. It's still rising. So expect higher prices of food in the coming, yeah, in about 6 months, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Airplane tickets, it will probably also be uh, higher in the coming months. And diesel, we all know when we go with our car to the tank station, it's quite
It's
some
very
higher
high at the
prices.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah. It's getting a little bit down because of the crude price that is falling a little bit, but my expectations this will stay higher.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and also Russian diesel, it's not coming into the market. And there was a big fire in one of the American refineries.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mentioned also by in a Mexican fire
Yeah.
refinery. So yeah, expect that um,
That
oil
this will.
products. will stay elevated.
Yeah.
And also fertilizer will stay elevated. The funny part about this is fertilizer stocks are dropping, so maybe it's a chance for
It's quite
people
strange.
to buy it, yeah.
Yeah.
But do some due diligence of your own. This is, yeah, it's a bit laughable, but it's a political figure in the Netherlands. He is called Johannes de Bot. And he says, yeah, maybe people have to prepare that the electrical power will be down for an hour or something.
An hour per day, right?
Yeah, per day, so now and then.
Mhm.
And we have to have a debate if it's acceptable. Yeah, I find this
Why are we going
quite
back in time?
unacceptable, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know what is in the head of this figure, to be honest,
Mm.
because we in the Netherlands we have a very reliable grid, and I think you have to be very proud of it and make sure it stays that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
You have to really try your best to mess it up.
yeah, but the background of this, why he says that, because the grid is getting very congested, and it's very
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
getting very congested because of the windmills and the solar panels that we are building in the
Yeah.
Netherlands. And that will put a lot of current when the sun is shining and when the wind is going,
Mm-hmm.
and it put no energy to the grid when those are gone. So
Mm-hmm.
when there's no wind and when there's no sun.
Yeah.
So it fluctuates a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and the baseload power can keep up with that power. And that
Mm-hmm.
means, that's why he's saying that the grid is getting unstable. Uh, and when the grid is unstable, the baseload power can fall away.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's
But how
almost
can then the
amusing.
solution be? Then we are just without power
Yeah,
for an hour and we just have to accept it. It's just how
yeah,
it's going to be.
that's his solution.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think when you're yeah that it's a staatssecretaris, so you can call him assistant minister if you
Mm-hmm.
want to translate it in. Yeah, if he says something like this, yeah, it's a little bit of astounding to me, to be honest.
Mm.
I don't know how these people think. They are for a reliable grid. That is my opinion. They
Mm-hmm.
have to make policies in place that you always have power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is also a bit of fun message. Yeah, they changed the what do we call it, the wheel of five. So did
Yeah,
you
the
remember
wheel
how
of
the
the five, we looked it up just before now.
yeah
The wheel of the five guidelines. It's
yeah
called
and
in
that's
English.
about that's about food. So that's a government policy that says what is healthy for
What
you
is
to eat.
recommended to eat.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they said this week, maybe it's a good idea, and we changed our wheel of five,
Mm-hmm.
that you only eat uh, uh, that you have one day that you eat meat in
Mm-hmm.
the week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And the message here is that somebody discovered, and that was quite shocking for me, that of that meat, if you eat it one day per week, 40% is plant-based in meat. So they mix it with meat and they sell it as meat.
Yeah, so the
So
meat that
that's
you buy in the supermarket is not 100% meat that is
no,
in your package, but
it's
40% of that package is plant-based ingredients mixed
yeah.
with the normal meat.
So uh, I think they are talking about meatball meat or something.
Yeah, grounded beef.
It's not not a steak or something. Then that's of course 100% meat, but they
Hmm.
also inject it with a lot of water.
Yeah,
So
true.
you think you have 100% meat, but there's maybe 20% water or something. But this was yeah, I didn't know that also.
Mm.
But I also don't know if it's true, to be honest. But yeah, if it's true, it's quite honest. But this is also a politician, and he will ask a question in the chamber.
Hmm.
So yeah. Then this is the Mexican refinery. What I referred to. I will open up the message if it. Yeah. Now you can quite see it's a fire.
Hmm.
Nowadays, you have to be careful because it also can be IA related.
AI, yeah. Yeah, you
AI, sorry,
almost
AI
can't
related.
see if it's real or not
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Mm.
I expected it's real, but I also read about an American refinery that had a fire, and that is really true.
Hmm.
That's a refinery of Valero, but that means less products are coming on into the market,
Hmm.
less oil products, and that will restrain the market even more. So yeah. Um, then this was also quite shocking. A couple of months ago, we talked a lot about physical silver and gold prices and paper gold prices
Hmm.
and paper silver prices, especially for silver. But now you also have a difference in the paper oil price and the real oil price.
Hmm.
So what they really buy. There is always a difference, I must say, but the difference is
It's
always
now very
very tight.
significant. Yeah.
But it's now 50% above its paper price.
Hmm.
And it's not only because here it's at North Sea crude, but it's not only applies for North Sea crude. In Oman, that's just outside the Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz, if you remember the peninsula there.
Hmm.
Um, there, the oil is also selling more than the oil price that is traded
Okay.
in the paper future market. So you see different prices, price mechanisms going on, and the traders have to pay higher prices to get the oil.
Hmm.
So simple as that. And what I see on X is especially for natural gas, LNG ships, they change course
Hmm.
in the middle of the ocean. So that means that somebody else buys the the volume of the ship.
Hmm.
So the natural gas that is in the ship that is
Hmm.
suddenly traded to another partner. So it can be that European traders are buying the LNG. Then during the trip, uh, that LNG get up in price, or the Asian market says, "Yeah, sorry, we are almost out of gas. I want to pay more for the gas." Then
Exactly. Yeah.
then the European traders say, "Okay, yeah, when I can earn a
When I
lot,
can earn a
and
profit, then I'll do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
then I do it, and probably I get in a week another supply
Hmm.
online, and we can manage with our storage a little bit, not much, but a little bit." Uh, so you see a lot of ships changing course, and I know this also happens in the with oil tankers, for
Hmm.
example. Then this is how it's uh, framed some messages in the media, and that's why you also always have to do research, in my opinion. And the message says 20% of all the cars in the Netherlands are electrical.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Maarten van den Berg, he says, there's this guy. He says, yeah, okay, fine, but this is a little bit of misinformation. You forgot to tell something, and you forgot that 7.4% of the cars are really electric cars,
Mm-hmm.
but the rest of the 20% are hybrid and plug-in hybrid. You see here 5.6% are plug-in hybrid and 8.5% are hybrid. So, and 70% are still conventional petrol cars. So
Yeah, I feel like
it's
you can never just trust a number based on a number.
no,
You always
no,
need to do your own bit of research. The newspapers at the moment and the media, they try to get your attention and try to get you to click on something. So it's very easy to make a very interesting headline. And then if you read the actual story or other stories that are about the same information, then you see that it's actually something completely different.
yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
very important to keep doing your own research.
Yeah, that's very important. But I find it very disturbing that the media is pulling this
Hmm.
kind of messages. To be honest, my expectation is that the plug-in hybrids part will grow
Hmm.
in the future, and maybe not in 1 or 2 years, but in 20 years' time, this will rise. My expectation is that the electric cars will be about the same. The hybrid cars will drop a little bit, uh, and the petrol cars will also drop a little bit. But we're talking about percentage. There's always to keep in mind, if the
Hmm.
total amount of cars are getting bigger, then the oil amount that you need in those 70% will also get bigger.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's always good to keep in mind. Then this is a message that the EU is buying Russian gas.
Hmm.
And that is not a new message, but they're buying more Russian gas. Yeah, the simple message is here they need it. So yeah, they can't get it from Qatar anymore. So
Hmm.
yeah, where to get your gas then? The Netherlands says no, we keep Groningen closed. So yeah, you have to buy
There's no
your
other
gas somewhere.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, this um, I want to say the Russian gas is sanctioned,
Hmm.
and the Europeans say we want to get off the Russian gas, but they
But they're
never.
nothing, they're doing nothing to get off of the gas.
They're doing a lot, but they're not managing it. So the
Mm-hmm.
framing is also for the media and for politicians and to get votes, and we want to get rid of the Russian gas, but you're simply not able to get off the
Yeah.
Russian gas. You need it. That is the big picture, and we don't have enough gas flowing into Europe. Yeah, we can buy American gas, of course, but that's very pricing. And Trump is also threatening Europe that
Yeah.
they don't get the gas.
It's
So
not such an ally
yeah,
anymore.
no. So yeah, um, yeah. This was quite interesting. A fun message also. It's good to eat meat because here, University of Nebraska. Uh, they had a study and they proved that cows are uh, for carbon intensity quite good.
Hmm.
And yeah, what you hear the last 10 years
Usually
is
the
that
message is always no, cows are
yeah,
very, very bad for the
very bad.
planet.
Yeah, 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 exactly. So, but they say they're actually good.
Hmm.
So yeah, if I have the chance to read this report, I will read it with some interesting.
Also with this, it can also it's the University of Nebraska. I'm not too familiar with Nebraska, but I feel like there's a lot of farmland and everything.
Yeah,
They might
yeah,
want to support that. So
yeah,
always read the entire study before
yeah,
making
yeah.
up your mind.
Yeah, it could be a fake message or
You don't know.
a study that is has some false pretensions, of course. But
Yeah,
yeah, I like the message. It's and what I want to say with this, I like opposite messages. So
of
you
course.
can read them both and then say, okay, maybe the truth is in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And in my view, it's always a little bit in the middle, the
Of
truth. So
course.
yeah. Yeah, then I don't know. Oh, here says his name, Aziz Zafar. I retweet him a lot. I think he has some good messages. And what he says, GDP growth is already dropping,
Mm-hmm.
and that is quite surprising to me. That is after these, yeah, what is it, 2 months or something that the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and you see the huge implications on different countries.
I would
So
understand it has implications, but that it's so direct and so
yeah,
quickly.
yeah,
There's also, of course, the type of countries that are now pictured. Um, yeah, if you put maybe some European countries, USA next to it, I don't think that they will have such a direct drop.
no, be honest,
You think
I
so?
don't. I
After
don't
a
think
few
so.
months?
Yeah, but this that has other courses, I think,
Mm,
because we have some. For America, for example, they have enough oil, so
mm,
I don't expect they have a quite drop in the GDP now. For Europe, it's something different, and I think we have enough supply now, and that is why it's not dropping, and we have enough of everything now. But if this takes months, and I expect it will
no, of
take months,
course. Yeah.
then it has some implications.
Hmm.
And you can't say here you have India, for example. Yeah, we know it's leveraged to oil, but China also has a drop,
Yeah.
and China also have enough supply for months of
Hmm.
oil. So yeah, I don't know. It, it's quite some drop in GDP, to be honest. Um, then I have a message from Martin Visser again, and he's tweeting a lot about yeah, gas stocks in the Netherlands, and this is the line of this year, the dark blue line that is dropping here, and it's rising again. So
Hmm.
we are safe.
That's a very good message because
Yeah.
last week and the week before we only saw this actually the same chart, but then that it was only dropping, dropping, dropping. It's good to see that we fill up our gas stocks a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, they say it rightly. It's good to see that it's finally rising again and that
Yeah.
they are buying natural gas again.
Hmm.
Um, I hope the rise will stay, to be honest,
Hmm.
because this is very low and it will be filled up again during what is it, October, November,
Hmm.
because we need it then. That was it for the messages.
Okay. Then we have the geopolitics section still to cover.
Yeah. I will go to that very quickly.
Hmm.
Yeah, here says Trump says troops will stay. Yeah. Yeah, you see messages going back and forward of opening the street, then close it again, and
Hmm.
Israel is having some bombardments in Lebanon,
Yeah.
what I saw, and then Iran says we don't want you to do that, so we're closing the street again. Um, then Trump calls Netanyahu again and says, "Stop with that," and then the street opens again. So it's a lot of mixed messages. So what we take into account that is partially opened. And yeah, what I said earlier, about 10 or 15 ships are passing through now. Probably it will rise, but not to the same level as before the war. That is my expectation. Then, even then, we have huge troubles. It's my expectation. Then an opposition leader, and then he say, of course, it's an Israeli opposition leader, but the Trump deal is a disaster for Israel, he says. So he's putting some fuel on the fire.
Exactly what we need.
Yeah, exactly what we need, of course. Then here and this is quite some message. What this message is saying that the Prime Minister of England says we stop Russian ships in English waters. Yeah, Russian oil ships, we will say.
Okay.
And Putin says, no, I don't want you to do that. And I send warships to escort these ships. Yeah. Then the Prime Minister Starmer backed off and he let passing through. I think it's sensible, but okay. That's telling you a little bit of how cheeky the Russians are getting. They didn't do that by the Americans, but then Putin made some remarks about Starmer, how weak he is, and so forth. So yeah, it's still a very tension world.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of tension from all sides, it feels.
Yeah.
No part of the world is quiet at the moment.
But I think Russia is testing the European waters a little
Yeah,
bit, and
of course.
how America will react to
Mm-hmm.
this. No, it's quite interesting what is happening, to be honest. Then we have a ceasefire. Yeah, we talked a lot about that. And what is quite interesting that the Pakistanis are, yeah, that they are a little bit of the peace pigeons. Don't know if it's an expression in English, to be honest, but they want to do a peace deal with Iran and America, and they intermediating the two parties.
They're mediating.
Yeah, and as we're speaking now, the Iranian representatives are now in Pakistan for some talks. So I hope they come with a peace deal and yeah, that the world can function with. Then this is quite another message, and this is an American company, and they have quite some deals with cobalt mines in Congo. So yeah, that's for securing a cobalt supply to the United States. It's quite important. Then the OPEC will rise the production with 200,000 barrels a day. I think
oil?
this is, yeah, of
Oh,
oil.
yes, I see it now. Yes, of oil.
Yeah, I think this is a drop of a very hot plate.
Yeah.
So this won't
Doesn't
do
really
much.
help that much.
No, it's only a message for calming the market down. It's my expectation. And then U.S. intelligence. I should read the message in another order. I have to do that next time. Please remind me of that. Because this is the later stage. Yeah. We have to start at the bottom. But U.S. intelligence says Iran has still a lot of missiles. So they can keep the war going for a very long time. And then you must think of months. Then Medvedev is the chairman of the Russian Security Council. And he says, in his view, the United States will not leave NATO. As you know, there are a lot of things going on. Rutte have been to Trump and have a very good conversation. And Trump wants some good deals, of course, in his pocket from the Europeans. He's threatened to get out of the NATO. And that's quite a thing because Europeans also know they can't do without America.
Because of their military power.
Yeah, they have quite some military power, but the French has to be honest. The English also have some military power. The Germans are building up. The Netherlands also building up. The fleet are quite advanced, the Netherlands. But together, it's not one army.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They don't all function under one rule.
No. And also not the same language. So that makes it very difficult. And the totally military power is nothing compared to the US, of course. So I think he's right there. I think America will stay by the NATO because, yeah, they also want to have the power, of course. But he just want to get some leverage, and he still wants Greenland. He said this week.
What does he think he's playing Monopoly?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Colonists of Catan. That was it for this week. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your insights again.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
I think this will be the end of this podcast. We'll see each other next week, and we'll see if the strait is actually open instead of just 10 ships moving past. Let's hope so.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
If you're finding this video helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps the channel grow and allows us to continue creating valuable content. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. If you want deeper market insights, model portfolios and high-quality research, make sure to visit the investorassistancepro.com website and subscribe to our paid services. We should remind you that we do not provide investment advice in our services. For free tools, tips and educational content, check out beleggershulp.nl. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.